Uh, Good morning, my beautiful Vajra brothers, Vajra sisters, and the venerable lamas that make this place so absolutely wonderful and continue the magic, the very extraordinary magic of the Dujum Tersar, the treasures of Dujum. I'm sitting here, so we have a fool in front, and all these Buddhas sitting out there. So this is a dialogue between a fool and his Vajra brothers and sisters. And lamas, don't expect too much from me. I expect everything from you. So I'm going to begin, as I always do when we do this, with giving the lung in English for the Dujum Tersar Ngondro, the short form, and it is the blessing of Dujum Lingpa, the great yogi from Golok, and Dujum Rinpoche, Dujum Rinpoche, and the power of this particular Ngondro is so extraordinary because it is, if you look at it in one way, just like every other Ngondro. The only difference is that this is very special for this time. By the compassion of the Buddhas, the compassion of the Dujums, we have this extraordinary pathway to directly merge our minds with that of Guru Rinpoche and Yeshe Tsogyal. There's no obstacle. The only obstacle we have is if we create an obstacle. There is no obstacle, none. This is like razor sharp into the heart, and it doesn't cut the heart. It just opens it wide, extremely wide. This is the path of awakening. This is the path of compassion. This is the direct path to enlightenment in this lifetime. And I'll be simple. I'll just read. But I'm getting old. I'm going to try for the first time my reading glasses and see if I can work them. It's going to be interesting. And it ends up on the end of my nose. Oh, first I'll try without them. It's old man trying something without them. So, even though many of us have practiced this Ngondro over and over, just listen. A concise recitation of the preliminary practices of the new treasures of Dujum. The preparation, reciting the first contemplations that turn the mind. Homage, I beseech you to know me, Lama. Deceitless, constant, protector. The eases and attainments of this precious human rebirth are extremely difficult to find. Whatever is born possesses the phenomena of impermanence and death. The cause and result of virtuous and unvirtuous actions cannot be denied. The continuous character of these realms of samsara is an ocean of suffering. By remembering this, may my mind turn to the Holy Dharma. The main preliminary practice, first refuge. Visualize that one's root lama, whose essence embodies the three jewels, the sources of refuge, appears in the form of Guru Rinpoche in the sky in front of me. From this moment until attaining the essence of enlightenment, I take refuge in the Lama, who is the three jewels. Then with prostrations, recite this as much as possible. Second, to develop bodhicitta, the mind of enlightenment, praying to the object of refuge as one's witness. From now until samsara becomes empty, I will strive for the benefit and happiness of all sentient beings who have all been my mother. Thus, train in the mind in bodhicitta. Third, the accumulation of merit through mandala offering. While actually arranging piles of substances symbolizing the mandala, my bodies, wealth, and glories of all my lives, I offer to the three jewels in order to complete the two accumulations, merit and wisdom. Offer mandalas many times. Fourth, the purification of obscurations, the Vajrasattva mantra and recitation. In the state of one's ordinary form, above the crown of my head is Vajrasattva, who is inseparable from the Lama. From Vajrasattva's body flows a continuous stream of crystal moonbeam nectar, and all obscurations are purified. Om Vajrasattva Samaya, Anapalaya, Vajrasattva, Trinapatita. I'm sorry, I have a little brain issue. Om Vajrasattva Samaya, Anapalaya, Vajrasattva, Tenapatita, Tridrimavos, Toshamavos, Poshamavos, Naraktamavos, Sarvasati Me Prayachal, Sarakarma Sutra Me Shitram Shriya Kuruvam, Ha 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 Ho, Bhagavan Sarvata Takata Vajra Samaya Sattva. Translation. Om is the supreme mantra, most excellent beginning praise. Vajrasattva Samaya, the tantric vow of Vajrasattva. Manapalaya Vajrasattva, I beseech you, Vajrasattva, to grant me your protection. Tekopa, I'm sorry, this is a little complicated for my brain right now. I'll just read the English on this one. Abide firmly in me. Make me totally satisfied. Increase perfectly within me. In compassion toward me. By your blessing, bestow all attainments upon me. May I also attain the power of all activities. Make my mind virtuous. Hum is the essence of wisdom heart. Ha ha ha, the four boundless wisdoms of bodhicitta, the four joys, the four empowerments, and the four kayas are the exclamation of joy. Victorious one who embodies all the Tathagatas, Vajrasattva, may you never abandon me. Vajrasattva, I pray, please make me a Vajra holder. Great Samaya deity. Is to unite indivisibly. Recite the 100 syllables while visualizing the nectar descending and purifying mind. Om Vajrasattva Hum. Recite the 6-syllable mantra as much as possible. Then Vajrasattva dissolves into light and becomes one taste, indivisible from my phenomena. Vajrasattva dissolves into myself, abide in meditation. 5th, the swiftly received blessings of Guru Yoga. Oneself is transformed into Dorje Naljorma, and in the sky in front of oneself, the root Lama of great kindness appears in the form of Padmasambhava, the complete embodiment of all Buddhas of the 3 times, Supreme Root Lama. I pray to you, in this life, the next lives, and between lives, hold me with your compassion. May your blessings have unceasingly throughout the 3 times. Om Ahum Vajraguru Pema Siddhi Hum. Then recite the mantra as many times as possible, 100 times, 1,000 times, and so on. The blessings and empowerment of wisdom body, wisdom speech, and wisdom mind are completely and perfectly obtained. One is collecting or receiving the attainment of wisdom body, wisdom speech, and wisdom mind from the Vajra Master, Guru Rinpoche. After receiving the 4 empowerments, the Lama dissolves into light and dissolves into oneself. Abide in indivisible awareness and emptiness, which is the face of the absolute Lama. Thus, the Lama dissolves into oneself. Abide in meditation. 6th, the transference of consciousness. I pray to the protector, Amitabha, Buddha of boundless light. May you bless me to accomplish the profound path of transference. Thus, receiving this many times, have the intention to transfer one's consciousness. 7th, the generosity of giving one's body and the dedication of merit. Now, my body, wealth, and the source of my virtue of all my lives, I give without clinging to all sentient beings who have all been my mother. May great waves of benefit be accomplished without obstacle for all sentient beings. So that is the speech of Dujum. And the speech of Dujum is like Patrol Rinpoche before, and other teratons is the speech that frees. It is freedom speech, not our ordinary stupid ideas about freedom. You know, we've got Freedom Avenue Boulevard over here, and you know, it's not that one. And we have freedom, you know, like sex, drugs, and rock and roll. It's not quite that one either. We have all kinds of ideas about freedom, but this is freedom from fixation on reality that doesn't exist at all. And Tilly Rinpoche an extraordinary, perhaps one of the, you know, handful of the most extraordinary Mahasiddhas of our time, pointed out that the way we live, the way we see things, and so on, is off. It's we see things, we experience things in you know, and we call our experience reality. And he points out here in Cascading Waterfall that what we see, what we feel, and so on, is not only off, it's 180, it's the reverse. It's 180 degrees off. It is, you know, we live in a fool's hell or paradise depending on the day of the week, you know? And so for the benefit of those who live in this reverse world, are those who have seen clearly, heard clearly, etc., etc., are nudging us to change our view. Change our view to what? Change our view from the view of trying to materialize everything, trying to make things wishful thinking, and you know, our brains sort of work like artificial intelligence. You know, we do all these machinations and so on, and come out with, you know, all these ideas about things and so on. The reverse of that is seeing and being in a world, this same world that is a sacred world. This same world where Buddha is could also be our name, interestingly. And in other words, it is possible to wake up from the reverse point of view. When the reverse point of view is turned, that is wakefulness. And in a sacred world, and this is a wonderful, we sit in this place. I'm always so happy to come here. Why? Well, first of all, I'm happy to see all my Vajra brothers and sisters, including the wonderful lamas that we have here. But I'm always happy to see Guru Rinpoche in this statue, right? This is, you know, something that was formed. Lama Tarchan, Tillian Norva Rinpoche, and the students, you know, created this. And it's, you know, it's like so big. But in terms of the universe, it's very small, except there's a focus here. So it's as vast as the universe. And this tent is the palace of great bliss. Or it's a little meditation center in Corralitos, California. But from a sacred point of view, this is the palace of bliss itself, a representation of it. And we have the opportunity through the various unbelievable kindness of the precious teachers that have gone before us to gaze upon, these material objects that point to the immaterial truth of primordial purity, of seeing clearly. Now, we might get stuck on, what metal is this made of and so on. That's all very practical, in case we want to make it again. But offerings, what are we? These are offerings. Offerings to what? Offerings to the extraordinary kindness, the extraordinary insights of trying just to tickle us to awakenment, to punch us in the face to awakenment, to kick us in the butt to awake. Now, whatever analogy you want to use. But these are symbols, and it all comes down to our mind. And how we work with our mind, how we train our mind not to have the reverse point of view by opening mind and heart. So, Cascading Waterfall begins in a very interesting way. It's talking to us. And what's it saying to us? It says to us, well then. Now, that is an amazing way to begin, because it's a beginning that's a continuation. Making a connection with this is, well then, because here we are, and I'm talking to my Vajra brothers and sisters here, and to all of you folks in Brazil and different parts of the world and so on, and I forgot to say hello to you. Hello. But well then, this is a continuation of a teaching. This is something we can make a connection with. And Rinpoche makes an offering, namo, and homage. And homage to whom? To the root Lama. And there are many lamas. Lama, in some simple way, means teacher. So it's not just Lama can be a Christian teacher or so on, so on. It's like, but here he's making a reference to the deceitless Lama. The deceitless Lama is one who will not try to sell you any ideas about being saved, first of all. Any ideas about a creator, second of all. Any ideas about the materializing of phenomena as gods. Not going to have you go out on the street wearing black and kicking cans down the street because you're fed up with the world. There's so many forms of eternalism and nihilism. Eternalism is most of the spiritual, philosophical systems, religions, and so on have an eternalistic streak. It is their very nature, and it makes promises that Jesus or Krishna or Brahma or Allah or will save you, will take care of you if you please them by various means. If you displease them, they might send you to some Abrahamic hell or Brahmanistic hell or whatever. And deceivers are those who point to mainly eternalistic ideas, the promises that come with it. But as Rinpoche points out in Cascading, all these ideas are about trying to materialize. Whatever wisdom there may be, and there is wisdom in other spiritual traditions. We're not saying that there is no wisdom, but the deceiver is the one who gives you a, Krishna saves or Jesus saves, or Mani saves, or there are infinite number of gods, and if you're a believer, God is on your side, or the gods are on your side, whatever they may be. And I'm going to be horrible. It's like talking to your imaginary friend and thinking your imaginary friend is going to save you. That's a horrible thing to say. But according to Rinpoche and great lamas before, there is much to be appreciated by at least having faith in something. Though that may cause problems, if there's faith in something larger, in a God or whatever, that is a better situation than the nihilistic one, where one believes that this is it. There are no previous lives. There are no future lives. There's no enlightenment. Uh, uh, this world came to be like mushrooms growing in a forest, I think is how Rinpoche talks about it. And then the mushrooms become dirt, and that's the end of it, and so on. So what we're given through Dharma, Buddha Dharma, is another way of observing the world, and another way of making a relationship with it, which is called the middle way. In fact, the middle way itself, if one actually experiences it and doesn't allow being an opportunist and being an eternalist on one day, and then if things go bad, being a nihilist on another day. I shouldn't talk about days. I can talk about seconds, minutes. We go from, isn't it all wonderful, this, da. And fuck, this life is really awful, and I wish I was dead. Our minds are so unbelievably fickle, and we waver between the extremes of eternalism and the extremes of nihilism. We all know this, but we still do it. The middle way is not, as Rinpoche points out, not a third place. It's not between eternalism or between nihilism. It is beyond either, and that's important to note. To note, you're not trying. By practicing Dharma, we're not trying to balance eternalism and nihilism. Goodbye. We open our vision. We through developing tranquil stillness, shine, and clear seeing, lakton, we can begin to see the world more clearly. For those of you who want a really magnificent instruction in this, on YouTube, there's a little video of Dudjom Rinpoche sitting by the River Thames in an area of London, and giving instructions. It's called The Play of Thoughts. It's also a little tiny pamphlet and so on. And it's, it's on the internet. You can find it. It's amazing. Within the whole mess, there are jewels. And, but you have to know what to look for in the mess. Like, how would you find this place? And the way you'd find this place is by having a wedding, I guess. So, Rinpoche points out the fallacies of eternalism and nihilism, and we should really take it to heart, because we don't have to chase either one, and we don't have to allow them, these extremes, to control our life. These extremes are part of the reverse point of view. The enlightened point of view is this middle way, beyond this flickering. And the beyond this flickering between eternalism and nihilism comes down to following a deceiteless teacher who will help guide one to this wondrous place, help correct one. The best teachers are correctors, rather than there's teaching, and then there's correcting. I'm going to just do a little aside. Today is April 4th. And April 4th for me is a special day, because today is the Parinirvana day of Chogyam Trungpa Rinpoche. And the only reason I'm here, which is really funny, is because of someone from another lineage. But by a set of karmic circumstance, I'm here with these brothers and sisters. And how did I end up here? Dujam Rinpoche came to Boulder, Colorado. And he was quite ill when he visited. And in fact, he had to wear a mask, and there was a oxygen tank, and he was, I don't know what the issue was, but he had to breathe, what do you call, Rinchen, what do you call that thing? An oxygen mask. I just, you probably deal with them quite often. No. And he sat down. It was in a Catholic high school auditorium. And we had no idea who this person was. It's just someone that Trungpa Rinpoche wanted some of his students to make a connection with. And I remember all of it like it's now. It's amazing. I don't even have to close my eyes, because it was so extraordinary. And I'll come to the extraordinary part. First, I'll just paint a picture. So we're sitting in this Catholic school. Rinpoche comes in. I forget who his translator was. It was either, it might have been Sogyal Rinpoche. I think it was Sogyal Rinpoche. And, we all stand up and do prostrations. And we sit down, and in a very small voice, Dujam Rinpoche starts teaching. First, he apologizes for the fact that he's not well, and that because he's not well, he can only say a few words. Okay. And then he goes on and gives a complete overview of Buddha Dharma from the Hinayana, the Mahayana, and the Vajrayana all all 9 vehicles. I mean, complete with detail. He doesn't do it in a short time. And it was like, the perception was this old man wearing an oxygen mask then became like a simple Superman. Very simple, so clear, and one could really hear what he was teaching. And that was the wonder of Dharma and each of the 9 yanas. Now, at the end of the talk, I asked for questions, and then he said the Trungpa Rinpoche, I believe I have this right, had asked him to give a small empowerment. And at that time, I had no idea what that meant, so on. Just like, early Dharma student. And the Rinpoche began, and that day he was wearing a gao, what do you call a gao? What's a gao in English? Reliquary. And within the reliquary, there was a very small statue of Guru Rinpoche. If I close my eyes, or if I open my eyes, I can see it right now. It was like suddenly the world opened. And I remember going to bed that night, and the image of seeing that little thing reappeared in quote-unquote dreams. And somehow, not only that, it created a feeling of elation. But the problem with elation? Exhalation. You get high, and then you come down. So that was an extraordinary event. And of course, many of us have had similar experiences with the likes of a great Lama like Dudjom Rinpoche, but there aren't that many. It is so rare and extraordinary. And that he blessed this land by his, this country, even the whole country, by his presence and so on, means that Dharma can flourish here, even with people like us. And that Guru Rinpoche, the clarity and compassion of Guru Rinpoche is accessible, even if you're in Colorado or Corralitos or whatever. It's not just about a particular place in Tibet or Ladakh or Sikkim or Bhutan. It's accessible. And what we find in Cascading Waterfall is the Deceatless Lama doesn't have to be a Nyingma Lama, doesn't have to be a Dudjom Tersar Lama. It just, the Deceatless Lama is one who points you to the truth without any sugar coating, without selling you a bill of goods about all the good things you're going to get, because you're not. It's a fool's uh, uh, journey. So, because it's 4/4, and I'm teaching Cascading Waterfall, but I also thank my first root guru, Trungpa Rinpoche, for coming to this country as one of the regents of Guru Rinpoche and planting the seed of Dharma, creating a language of Dharma that can be used, and so on. And then I thank Tili Norpa Rinpoche for extending that and deepening it. For me, I'm a student of both, so I don't see them as separate. For you, you're lucky. You know, you have what you have, and if you don't have anything, there are deceitless lamas, and through the process of learning to see clearly and to have stillness, tranquil stillness, or still tranquility, either way, the Lama will appear. But don't be fooled by names, titles. Don't be fooled by anything. It's very important. This deceitless part of Lama is unbelievably important. It is like the key. And in Cascading Waterfall, Rinpoche makes this point over and over and over. Because, as he says, there are many deceivers. So, I'm sitting here in Pemosaling with my friends, and we are fortunate because we have either a complete connection with deceatless lamas, or we are checking out to see if these lamas are deceatless. There are two classifications here, and you can't. There's no way to find out if the lama is deceatless or not without making a relationship. And this is Namo, homage to whom? To the root lama. Who is that? The deceatless, constant protector. Protector. Protector from what? From bullshit, from nonsense, from wishful thinking, from that you're going to be, somebody, important, or whatever your materialistic fantasies might be. The deceatless lama That's not what it's about at all. And be careful. Be careful. That's what Rinpoche is pointing to. You have to find a deceitless Lama. Okay? The Lama does not have to be your idea of Buddha. Your idea of Buddha is so wrong that it's ridiculous. You know? You think Buddha, or we think Buddha is something over there. The deceitless Lama, by being deceitless, is the Buddha. You can have tea with the Buddha. You can joke with the Buddha. You can gossip with the Buddha, and the Buddha will introduce you to your real non-self, which is no different than Buddha, no different than the Guru herself or himself. It's a very different way of looking at things. And it has to do with learning to stabilize your mind. So there are many practices, especially the Ngondro practice. Within the Ngondro practice, we have everything that we need. Whoops. Can you? The embodiment of the three jewels. So the deceitless Lama is the complete embodiment not only of Buddha, but of Dharma, the teachings of the Buddha, and Sangha, the community. And all of those exist within the deceitless Lama. You are meeting not only Buddha, but all manifestations thereof. Who shows self and all sentient beings the unmistaken, deceiteless path leading from the white phenomena of temporary happiness, of higher states of gods and human beings until the attainment of the ultimate white phenomena of the immortal bliss of the state of Buddha. So I remember Tilly Norberg used to joke about this. And the way he would joke about it, he says, my students, you know, they're only interested in you know, 1 minute orgasms. You know, they're not, you know, and they're happy with that. You know, it's like, you know, what's wrong with them? The Dharma teaches Mahasukha, which is the constant great bliss of awake, the constant great bliss of Buddha, which is different than the little highs. You know, you can take ayahuasca or, I don't know, there's a whole panoply of them. I'm sure here in the Santa Cruz Mountains you can find all kinds of things that will give you all kinds of cosmic experiences. You can, you can probably fly to the moon and back with, with these things. You can make your way into the roots of, beautiful flowers and, all kinds of things, and have amazing displays of experience and so on. And then you're a junkie. No, excuse me. But it doesn't. It's material, and it doesn't. All these temporary things. So what? So what? And I beseech you to know me. This is very, very important. And because request with offering is the way, the direct way to receive the blessings, to receive the teachings, and so on. They won't just drop on your head. And even if you find yourself in a place like this, if you don't ask, you're just in a place like this. And you can go through the motions, and you can do everything. But to make requests to the Lama, to make requests, and I'm not talking don't bother the Lama. I'm not saying hound, but it's you're not gonna get anything, so to speak. But even more so, we learn through these teachings to have a relationship with Guru Rinpoche. And Guru Rinpoche is the quintessential way for us to learn to see clearly. The quintessential way, the pathway to the great bliss phenomena that is the Ati Yoga, that is the vastness of teachings that connect us to our true nature. When I first heard that you can pray to Guru Rinpoche for anything that benefits Dharma, I thought, what? Why would I pray to this guy who lived in Pakistan or Afghanistan, like X centuries ago? Why would I pray to this guy who, like if you read the scholars' books, they say he didn't even exist, he was made up. Why? It's like it was very confusing until I met him on Guru Rinpoche's chest. And Guru Rinpoche is clarity, kindness, enlightenment itself. Guru Rinpoche is Guru Rinpoche-ness also. It is always available. If one finds oneself in trouble, one can pray to Guru Rinpoche. If one finds oneself happy, one can pray to Guru Rinpoche, and so on. It's not the guy in Pakistan, you know. It's the second Buddha, the Buddha that taught a way for us to be in this world as ordinary people, monks, nuns, any phenomena of being a Dharma person, but you don't have to give up anything if you're a student of Guru Rinpoche except your reverse point of view. That's what you're giving up. And not that I experienced the other side, but I hear, thus have I heard, that it's wondrous. And by request, by offerings, it is accessible. Means from the three I beseech you to know me, means that from the three doors of faith, clear faith, embodiment faith, and confident faith, one requests to be held by the great kindness and compassion of the root Lama, praying from the heart. It's actually pretty simple, except for those of us who are complicated, which is most of us. I was with Lama Sonam with some friends the other day, and he was kindly speaking to a friend, and he pointed out the way to make all of this workable, and that we'll do it later, or someone else will teach it. That's by invoking the four reminders. We live in this illusion that whatever this is going to continue. And there's always time. It's like, we all know we're going to die at a particular level, right? We know that. But do we believe it really? It's an odd question. Do we really believe it? There is something in us that refuses to pay attention to the truth. So we take for granted. We begin with the first one. We take for granted this precious human birth. We take it totally for granted. Here we are. We're running around doing our things, being born into this realm, the human realm, the most extraordinary aspect of being born into this world is that one can meet Dharma. That is the extraordinary circumstance. Here we are. And if we take it for granted, it doesn't work. So, joyful absence of birth, free and one. Also, our our life is in these times, we all complain about not enough money, not enough this, not enough that, all these things. But we live like kings and queens. This is how kings and queens lived, 500 years ago, And on top of that, we have a refrigerator, It's it's really a funny thing. This body will be a corpse. That is so important that a dead body can't practice Dharma. A dead body can't become enlightened. It's said it's said in the teachings that at the moment of death there's opportunity. And Lama Sonam, I love Lama Sonam. Hello, Lama Sonam. I love you. There are opportunities, constant opportunities for wakefulness. And up to death, and apparently after death, but not in the body, and it becomes more complicated because we all that there is consciousness. And as my first guru pointed out about that is the good news and the bad news. And he said it's like jumping out of an airplane and you're thousands of feet, above, and above what? Who knows? And the bad news is you have no parachute. The good news is there is no ground. And here we are, though. We're on the ground. But when we pass, so to speak, we have these opportunities. But the best opportunity is in this life, in this body, and when the opportunity arises, make requests and make offerings and be there with what is offered. It's extraordinary. So, I'm a book publisher, or was. I'm a retired book publisher. This is just another book. Not. And I'm not trying to sell the book. I don't make any money. I'm retired. But see all these little marks? These little marks are things to make me remember. But I forget all the time. Even though I mark it, and wow, and so on. It's extraordinary. But every time I come back, Rinpoche speaks to me again, and there is a new opening. It's like every thing that Rinpoche presents in cascading is like packed, and then it reveals itself. And that is the nature of Dharma itself. There's a certain simplicity to it, and then there are other, then we have the tantras, which can be quite complex, and with all these different visualizations and all these different forms of yoga and all these things, but we can become familiar with that too. And then there's the Hatha yoga, where we have to sort of, whoops, I did all this stuff and it says what? I wasted my time? Oh no! You know, that I could just, you know, it's always here and it's always been here. The whole thing is amazing. But the kindness that we have here is a clear path. Absolutely clear. The view that is presented is a complete view. It's not to take you anywhere that's over there somewhere. There's no over there. There's no enlightenment or whatever you want, Buddhahood, whatever you want to. You know, if one is constantly thinking that it's somewhere else, one is mistaken. So, but we have to learn to tame our mind. We have to learn to be corrected by a deceitless Lama, guided by a deceitless Lama, and allow the deceitless Lama to show us that we can also be just like her or him, awake. I remember when Rinpoche got his copy of this book, and we had a conversation, and he looked at me and he said, "Do you think they will understand?" And I'm looking at Rinpoche. Says, I'm looking at him because, you know, I read the book in the manuscript. I didn't understand it. And he's talking about them. Do you think they will understand? And I, you know, it was a shocking question. We are they. We are they. Do we understand? We have to find out. Do we understand? This is for us. Do you know why it's for us? We're sitting here, or we're sitting in front of our computer, and we have a connection. So it's not enough to just have it on our shelf. It's not enough to just read it. It provides us with a complete view, the enlightened view, and it provides us with a proven by so many people pathway that is effective. It is not a fairy tale. That's I mean, the important point here is Guru Rinpoche is not a fairy tale. Enlightenment is not a fairy tale. It is the nature of what actually is. What actually is ineffable. Can't say. The only person who could say is, can't say Rinpoche. I mean, that was a joke. I'm sorry. Our friend Tulkuchunda Rinpoche was a Lama that came from Golok, a student of Dodrop Chen Rinpoche, the great holder of the Lunching Nintic lineage. And Tenli Norpa Rinpoche asked him to write a foreword to this cascading waterfall. And we might ask, why does this master ask another master to do this? Because it's the American way. It's the Western way of doing things. And we even have quotes on the back from people like Tulku, oh yes, and Melvin MacLeod, the editor of the Shambhala Sun. And Rinpoche liked, he made this American, Western, with all the accoutrements, so we could actually look at this like something that's not just from over there and about others. So he asked Tulku to write this forward. Not only that, he also asked others, including Taka Rigzin Pema Wangchen Rinpoche, I believe Zenkar Rinpoche, but I'm going to read the foreword by Tulku Rinpoche because it is a beautiful, condensed view of what's presented in Cascading Waterfall. Forward by Tulku Thundup Rinpoche. And it begins with a quote from Petro Rinpoche: "The outer and inner preliminary practices with supplementary training on transfer of consciousness embody all of the teachings of the Buddha. The treatises of the omniscient lineage masters and the quintessence of all instructions that lead us to Buddhahood in one lifetime." And then Tulku goes on. "A cascading waterfall of nectar is a great original work and the enlightened wisdom of one of the greatest realized Nyingma masters of our age, Tenli Norpa Rinpoche. Its incisive reasoning and scriptural citations deepen our understanding of the Holy Dharma. It condenses different paths into a single volume. Profound philosophical standpoints and meditative trainings of sutra and tantra, and especially of tranquil stillness, shine, and true seeing, lakdong, are presented with interpretation by different Buddhist masters of the past. The absolute teachings on the primordial, pure, great emptiness nature, kadak, and self-accomplishing clear light, wisdom, of Dzogpa Chenpo are the heart of the volume. The main body of this book is the commentary by Tenli Norpa Rinpoche on the concise preliminary Ngondro of Dudjom Tersar. New treasures revealed by Dudjom Lingpa, 1855 to 1923, born in Sera Valley of Golok in East Tibet. Dudjom Lingpa founded the Dudjom Tersar tradition. Tenli Norpa Rinpoche is the eldest son of the reincarnation of Dudjom Lingpa, Kabje Dudjom Rinpoche. Although called preliminary practices, the text is actually a natural a mut- going blind at this age is really bad. Excuse me. I'm 78, and I used to see perfectly when I was 77. So it's so interesting when things change. Although called preliminary practices, the text is actually a manual of stages of mind training that leads even beginners to the ultimate goal of Buddhahood. The Buddha said, "Mind is chief and the forerunner of all happenings. If our mind is in peace, whatever we say and do will be the expression of that peace. Then whatever we do will turn into peaceful and beneficial services for others. So training the mind is essential to improve our life and those of all humanity. According to Buddhism, the true nature of our mind is enlightened, and the realization of the true nature is instantaneous. But to reach that point, we must rely on others' support and go through the stages of training that the preliminary practices fully provide. In Buddhism, there are three major paths of training called vehicles, yana. The Hinayana teaches students to avoid sources of emotional afflictions by, for instance, living in solitude or celibacy. The Mahayana teaches followers to take the responsibility of serving all mother beings and to deal directly with sources of emotional afflictions like anger by applying antidotes like compassion. The Vajrayana teaches adherents to accept and transform all as wisdom and wisdom power by realizing everything as the enlightened nature and qualities. The preliminary practices embody all three vehicles. The text begins with the four common outer preliminary practices to inspire us to Dharma and to renounce mundane life. We meditate on the preciousness and rarity of our human life, the impermanence of life and the world, the principle of karma in which everything happens due to causation, and the suffering inherent in samsara, mundane life. When we realize the truth of samsara, we will want to liberate ourselves and others. For that, we rely on enlightened ones who are beyond samsaric control. We invoke the blessings of the compassionate and enlightened refuges, and meditate on the five uncommon inner preliminary practices for the sake of all mother beings. We commit ourselves to Dharma and become Buddhists by taking refuge in the Buddha as the guide, the Dharma as the path, and Buddhists as our supporting community. We establish the foundation of the Mahayana by developing the enlightened aspiration of taking responsibility to bring happiness to all mother beings and lead them on to enlightenment. And by putting such aspirations into practice through the six perfections, we accumulate merits, the force of positive conditions, by offering the whole of existence as the mandala, the assembly of pure offerings to the refuges. We purify all negative conditions by visualizing the source of purification, Vajrasattva, above us, developing strong regrets for whatever evil we have committed, and making a commitment not to repeat it. Then, saying prayers, we meditate on washing away our afflictions in the form of filth from our body through the stream of Buddha's blissful blessing nectar, without leaving any trace behind. The heart of the inner preliminary practices is Guru Yoga, a training based on pure perception of Vajrayana and the realization of the true nature of the mind of Dzogpa Chenpo. We visualize ourselves as Vajrayogini and Guru Rinpoche in front of us as the source of blessings. We pray and meditate on the sevenfold devotional trainings, paying homage, making offerings, purifying impurities, rejoicing over all virtue, praying to the enlightened ones to teach and have a long life, and dedicating all our merits for the enlightenment of all. We receive the blessing light of Guru Rinpoche's Vajra body, speech, mind, and wisdom, purifying the obscurations of our body, speech, and the bliss of all, thus enabling us to attain the 4 Buddha bodies. At the end, Guru Rinpoche melts into a ball of 5-colored light and merges into us. Our mind and Guru Rinpoche's enlightened mind become indivisible. With that realization and confidence, we rest in contemplating the true nature of mind, the union of primordially pure emptiness nature and self-accomplishing clear light qualities of Dzogpa Chenpo. When we perfect such realization, we attain the fully enlightened state, Buddhahood, with 3 Buddha bodies and 5 primordial wisdoms. As a supplement to the preliminary practices, the meditation on the transfer of consciousness is an important training. If we are unable to perfect our realization in this life, we could still take rebirth in a Pure Land by meditating on the transference of consciousness and attain enlightenment there. The second part of the book is another commentary by Tenli Norpa Rinpoche on the fulfillment liturgy of the Dakinis by Kabje Dudjom Rinpoche, who is a great Terton, a celebrated scholar, and the supreme head of the Nyingma school of Tibetan Buddhism for decades. This commentary explains the meaning of this text and illuminates vast bodies of important tantric teachings. So that's an overview of this book and this path. And many of us are fortunate enough to have practiced this, and many of us are fortunate enough to be blessed by this. And many of us are fortunate now also to be introduced to this. But it's up to us. The path is simple, direct. What's difficult is our clinging to samsara, clinging to what is familiar, clinging to the reverse point of view, clinging to so many different ideas of who we could be. And clinging, clinging, clinging. And ultimately, any clinging doesn't pay off. There's no payoff from clinging. So that's a little bit of the view, and then we have to look at how we put that view into practice. Questions?
Are there any online?
Lisa's going to ask a question because she's new. You don't have one?
You're just taking it all in right now.
Okay, Susan's going to ask a question then.
What is the best way I can help Lisa to take it all in?
You're funny. Okay, any questions?
That is my question.
Oh, that is your question. How can you help Lisa? Just tell her the truth. And she'll either believe you or not. In the back.
I feel like this is heresy, what I'm going to say. So I am challenged by renunciation, a foundation of this path. And the reason why, or a reason why, is because if everything is wisdom, why am I renunciating anything?
Why are you?
Renunciating anything.
If everything is wisdom?
Yes.
This path is extraordinary in that it's a path that need never be made, but you do it anyway. Because it illuminates. It illuminates. That's why we do it. Illumination. True clarity. Does that make sense? There's nowhere to go.
Right.
There's nowhere to go. But if we take the view that there's nothing else, we become nihilists. Because our sense perceptions are limited. There's so much more than just our ordinary sense perceptions. We have a set number of colors, we have a set number of emotions, etc., etc. When they become illuminated, they are the nature of deity. I'll be talking about this afternoon. But the deities arise from our body, and their display and their power is amazing. They don't come from outer space. They come from our very own body. And it's a wondrous, there are many wonders in this world. That's part of why we practice, is to illuminate. And it's not just for ourselves. The illumination is also totally to benefit others, to have compassion and kindness. It creates a better world. This world is so difficult This world is crazed. The reverse point of view is the consensus. There's another way. Okay? But, you know, Eureka Canyon Road is still Eureka Canyon Road. You know, Pacific Ocean is still the Pacific Ocean. You know, but by illuminating through your own practice, your own devotion, faith, and so on, you benefit others. And that combination of training your mind and having your emphasis being on compassion towards others, that is priceless. It's extraordinary. So we shouldn't give up and just say, this is enough. It doesn't work that way.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
I also realized that when the question came out of my mouth,
You
I
had the
re-
answer right there?
yeah, I realized I had been clinging to all is wisdom. And by doing that, I was not being in what was not wisdom, which is obviously everywhere. So thank you.
Thank you. Susan?
This question's not about Lisa. In Tulku Thundap's foreword, he mentioned 4 Buddha bodies, and I immediately thought of his book, The Heart of Unconditional Love, and the 4 phases of cultivating unconditional compassion. And I wonder, in that moment, if these works can be threaded together in any way, or what you might see as the bridge.
It's simple. Longchen Nintig, the Longchen Nintig point of view and the Dujum Tersar paths are compatible and parallel. I mean, just as an odd little fact, when I first met Tilinor Rinpoche, he became my Longchen Nintig guru. And because he is also a holder of that lineage. At some point, I mean, you remember how many years? At some point, I was the only Longchen Nyingtig practitioner there. Everyone else was Dujum Tersar. And at some point he said, Sam, come on. It's not, you don't have to complete this. Just join us all together. So, but it's totally compatible. Those of us who were fortunate enough to live with Tilinor Rinpoche, whenever Dujum Rinpoche and Tulku Thundup came, it was always like a great celebration and like best friends. The only, Amy? The only thing that was strange was once I think Rinpoche, Tilinor Rinpoche or Dodrup Chen was going to give a small abhishek in Rinpoche's house, and Tilinor Rinpoche liked to tell the story, and Tulku Thundup Rinpoche went up to Rinpoche, and he said, you know, we Tibetans, we like to throw rice at the end of an offering. Would that be okay? We Tibetans. I mean, it's outrageous. And the reason is that Tilinor Rinpoche's environment and world were all about clean. Rinpoche's favorite instruments weren't just these. They weren't just these. Also a vacuum cleaner. Literally a vacuum cleaner. Rinpoche was always cleaning, you know? And that's extraordinary. It points to, of course, Vajrasattva, because as far as I'm concerned, Tilinova Rinpoche, not only is he Guru Rinpoche, he's a Vajrasattva, he's everything. When we really meet the Guru embodies all the deities, all positive qualities, you know, and they may be shown to us in a very conventional way, like that. So there's no contradiction. And in fact, Tilinova Rinpoche would suggest to many of his students to read Tulku books, because they're very clear, as you know. It's like that. There's absolutely no contradiction. None.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hello.
I think this is a short question, but last retreat you said something about cleansing the alaya. I can't remember the context, but I've been thinking, I'm interested in the 8 consciousnesses, so I'm interested in the alaya. And I'm wondering, is Vajrasattva, is that cleansing? I mean, are you working with cleansing the alaya with that?
You know, I'm not a scholar, so I'm going to guess. I'm guessing. We have scholars here that can correct me. But all these practices, which ultimately are the Mahasandhi or Hatha Yoga or Dzogpa Chenpo, are about cleansing the alaya. When the alaya is cleansed, that's called enlightenment.
Thank you.
But it's not static. Scholars, was that correct? Tulku Tantram. Correct? No? Yes? Can you do better, please? No? Okay. I'm just, you know, I'm just like you. I read the book. You know where I found that? In a footnote. It's hidden in a footnote. It's not in the Tibetan version. It's hidden as a footnote, and I can't find it right now in this book. That it's so profound and simple. It's so unbelievably profound and simple. But we'd like to complicate things, right? Well, I want to thank you for listening so nicely to your Vajra brother Sam. And I don't know why I get so happy when I see all of you. But it's really good. It's really good. So, as your Vajra brother and your Dharma friend, thank you for listening to me trying to have a good conversation with you. Okay? Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you, everybody. Lunch is right now, and the next teaching session is at 2:30. Enjoy your lunch.
By this accumulation of virtue, may I obtain all-seeing omniscience, and may all faults be defeated. The whirling, turbulent waves of birth, aging, sickness, and death, from this ocean of samsara, may I liberate beings. Zonam diye tamje zeba ni domne nyembe tanam bamje jenge gana balon truba ye zebe zole ndowa ndore sho.